Hello everyone, I'm Joel Baird, the General Manager of Missoula Community Access TV.
And I'm Kim Anderson. I'm on the board of MCAT, and I'm also the Director of Programs and Grants for Humanities Montana.
Welcome to our edition of Missoula Live. It's Monday, November 28th.
And welcome back to you.
Thank you.
Looking
Yeah,
excellent.
I missed everyone this month because I had to have a little surgery. Oh! And thank you, Kim, for doing it
We didn't burn
solo.
it down.
Right. No, it looked good to me. So I don't have that much on the MCAT side of things. Kim will talk to you a little bit about Humanities Montana. On the MCAT side of things, we do offer a tour and training of MCAT to anyone that's interested in the kind of equipment we have to loan out to you, or the resources we have for post-production. So you could come down here without warning every second Wednesday of the month at 5:30. It is drop in, and you get like a 10-minute overview of what MCAT does via a video, and then a nickel tour of the place, and then an inspection of the equipment and resources, and then there'll be MCAT staff hanging around to answer any questions you have. So you're certainly welcome. Wednesday, December the 14th at 5:30. MCAT's located at 500 North Higgins. It's the northeast corner of Spruce and Higgins, and you can see it at mcat.org. There's a little map there. I wanted to remind viewers that we are still doing our Saturday animation drop-in for kids. This is a 4-hour, don't need to be because it's drop-in. You could come at 1:30, at 2. You definitely want them to pick up the little darlings by 5.
Yes,
You know, that seems a little harder and
part
more
is
fast.
not,
Right,
yeah,
but the show
flexible.
up time is flexible.
Yeah.
There's a $10 fee, and the kids are mostly doing stop animation Lego stuff, though they're also doing dry erase material.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, they move around. They do drawings, and they kind
Right.
of erase and move the drawings around. And if you think your kid's interested in this, we are recommending ages 9 to 13. That's somewhat flexible. You could call us, 542-6228. We'll talk to you about it. You could learn a little bit more at mcat.org. And I'm just going to say stuff about the library.
This is important.
Right, so you didn't mention last show. So we want to say, MCAT staff and board, a heartfelt thank you to
Yes.
Missoula. Recently, the Missoula electorate, we'll talk more about that. Recently, Missoulians went to the poll on November the 8th, and among the things they did there, one of the things they did was that they said yes to a new Missoula library. What this means for MCAT is that we are going to move in with the library when they build this new spectacular
Yes.
128,000 4-story square foot building. And
Because
so
it's not just a library, it's a
Right.
cultural center.
it's a cultural center. We'll be in there with the Children's Museum, the Families First program, and Spectrum Science Discovery Center. So it's going to be just hopping, I think.
Very exciting.
Very strong conduit, for people of all ages and community to take advantage of this great resource. So along that end, I was going to ask Scott, I put up the Missoula Public Library website, because we're partners now. I just wanted you guys, if you haven't been able to learn more about the story, there's a kind of architect's rendering
Yeah.
at the website. Okay, so Scott clicked on it. You can see that a little better. And so check it out by going to missoulapubliclibrary.org, where you can learn more about this exciting new building and the All Under One Roof partnership.
Right.
And we're going to talk to Jody Pilgrim a little later from the Parking Commission about a fines for food program, rather a food for fines program.
You don't get fined if you bring food.
No, rather the opposite. Fines are forgiven if you bring food. And you could do that at Missoula Public Library December the 4th through the 11th. That's their program week for that armistice.
Right.
So that's my bit about the library. And Kim has stuff, because her day job is with Humanities Montana. She has some things to talk about.
Just very little. But for anyone who works in the humanities, if you are involved in putting together a public program that involves history or literature, philosophy, environmental studies, comparative religions, jurisprudence, the fields, we have a grant deadline, and we support public programs like that. So our grant deadline is December 20th. There's no upper limit to our regular grants, and I would encourage you to go to the website, take a look at our grant guidelines, and a list of things we've funded in the past, and then call me if you have any questions.
Nice. Okay, I think, well,
Yeah?
are you sure?
I'm ready.
Okay, so we'd like to introduce Cassidy Blues. She is behind the zombie web series, Last OK Place. Welcome. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me
Oh,
here.
you know it. So, of course, everyone wants to know about it. What is the Last OK Place?
All right, so it's a dark comedy, post-apocalyptic narrative. It actually takes place in Missoula in the somewhat distant future. And the lead character is thrown onto a cleanup crew. And that's sort of where these hijinks ensues, because it's a group of very different people having to work together in a unusual situation.
I see. Oh, he's rolling a clip
I think we have a
now.
little clip.
So
Good.
look on the screen there, Cassidy, and can see what, maybe you want to describe a little of what's going on in the
Yeah,
clip.
so this is our teaser, and right now we're just introducing the main character.
And she's running.
Yes, there's a lot of running back and forth.
Oh no, there's oh! Oh my goodness. Okay.
So that is
then.
that is Winnie Lohoff playing our lead, Quinn Wilder.
Oh my God.
Wow.
No, and Winnie, has gone to any number of MCAT summer camps, not to tell tales out
really?
of school. Yeah. And then that was our own Christian Ackerman,
Right.
who's one of our community producer helpers. That was amazing. So
Thank you.
that's incredible special effects too.
Yeah, that was a 2-day, mostly 1.5-day shoot, no budget, so everyone donated their time, which is, one of the difficulties with doing a larger production. But yeah, we're really happy with how it turned out. Christian was the zombie. As you said, he looks probably a little different than how you guys are used to seeing him.
Well, I'm getting really used to seeing him like that.
Yeah, no, that's probably
his
true.
own interests and so on.
That's right, yes. Your go-to zombie.
Right?
Yeah.
So here, Scott's showing the Facebook page. He's scrolling down.
Yeah.
And this is the Last OK Place series. And so if people are interested, this is a great place to go to like the page, to get
Yeah.
updates and so on.
Yeah, this is the best place to go. Our Facebook page will have updates on what we're doing, behind the scenes looks. It'll also have our teaser and eventually our trailer on it. And then the next place to go would definitely be our Indiegogo page.
Right, and Scott's showing that now. And describe to people how the Indiegogo works.
Okay, yeah, sure. So the Indiegogo is a platform to crowdsource. We're using it right now because we need to get a very large sum of money. If I'm asking people to work 10 to 15-hour days for weeks straight, we need to be able to raise money for this to pay them and take care of them. So the Indiegogo is a place where people, if they're interested, can check out different perks, what we're doing, where the money will go, and hopefully, if they're into it, they'll give us financial contribution. We understand not everyone can, so even just sharing it on social media is phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah.
And what is the ideal time frame, and what will the final product, how many episodes, things like that?
Yeah, so right now we're going to run this campaign for 30 days, and we'll shoot our full trailer, because what we just saw was a teaser, so we'll shoot the full trailer in December, and the series will start shooting in mid-spring. And by summer, we want to have a 10-episode first season
Oh,
out.
wow. That's great. And each episode will be like how long?
They'll be, on average, about 6 minutes.
Okay.
Web series are a little shorter like that.
But that's the beautiful freedom of a web series too, right? Is that
Exactly.
they don't have to be in a certain time slot and a certain length.
Exactly. There's a lot you can play around with. The budget can be a constraint, but the creativity of a web series is really fun to work with.
It sounds like this isn't your first time doing it. What's your background in the audiovisual world?
Well, I actually went to school here. I graduated in 2015 from the Media Arts program, And I've worked on a bunch of short films. I worked on the indie feature that came through here, Subterranea, and and various sizzlers, which is what people use to try and sell pilots usually. So this is my one of the first projects I'm leading. It's my own idea, and I'm writing, directing, and one of the producers on it.
So many hats.
Yeah.
Many hats, yes. I need a coat rack.
And what got you interested in this topic and this idea?
Yeah, zombies.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of genre. I love horror and sci-fi and fantasy because they allow you to put characters in situations they would never be in. And I think that just gives you so much creative freedom to really see how people are going to react in these situations. So as a writer, that's just something I love to play with. And then on another note, in these genres, a lot of times minorities are left out. And for me, that's something really important. So this incorporates actors and actresses of different sexual orientations, different ethnicities, and obviously their characters reflect that. So it was an avenue to do that as well.
Oh, it sounds like it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So if people are watching and they want to learn more, Facebook, an excellent place to go, and they should put in Last OK Place.
Yeah, the Last OK Place on Facebook should bring you right to us.
Yeah.
It's a great title.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
Well, is there anything you want to add that we didn't cover in our visit?
I just appreciate the chance to be able to talk about it, and I hope people, will check out our Indiegogo and hopefully donate. If not, though, share it. Supporting local filmmakers is always appreciated in Missoula.
Absolutely. I mean,
so they could say support local music, support local media.
right. I mean, there's all sorts of local arts, and for a filmmaker, this is one of the most important things you could do. That money in the beginning is crucial, and it's hard to come by. So go to Last OK Place.
Good luck on the project.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time, Cassidy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, we are warming up Geoff Badenoch in our bullpit, and he's going to come out here and talk about the Electoral College with us because we thought this was going to be such a timely thing. I didn't realize, for instance, when we hatched the idea that there would be this talk of a recount and so on. But stay with us. Scott Ramp, our producer here at MCAT, produced a number of holiday clips from various nonprofit and civic organizations.
Already that
so
season.
he's going to fill your idle moment here with a few of those, and we'll get Geoff out. We'll be right back.
Hey Jess, what's the best way to communicate with sea turtles and trout over the holidays?
I have no idea.
Well, it depends. With a sea turtle, just call their shell phone. But with a trout, you might want to drop them a line first.
That's a really great joke, Micah.
I know.
But seriously, do you want to know how you can support conservation over the holidays? Ecology Project International has a couple of really great gift ideas for conservation.
You could get the jumping trout license plate for your friends and family.
So cool, and available at your local DMV.
Or you can adopt a sea turtle hatchling and receive a turtle education kit for you and your classroom.
Adorbs. Just visit ecologyproject.org/adopt.
Both are great gifts that support hands-on conservation and science education for youth.
From all of us at EPI, we hope you make conservation a part of your family tradition.
Happy holidays from EPI.
Hi, my name is Emily and I'm with Free Cycles.
And my name's Caitlin, and I'm also here on behalf of Free Cycles.
As the winter season draws near, it's important to keep your tires aired up, your chain lube, and your brakes tuned so you can stop in wet or icy conditions.
If you are looking for a winter hobby, is to come into Free Cycles and actually learn how to build a bike, and those bikes go to help children, people in Missoula, and all over the nation.
As it starts to get darker sooner, it's also really important to wear your lights at night, have them on you at all times, and be extra alert of your surroundings because sometimes drivers are not expecting to see cyclists on the road.
Free Cycles is a great place to do that and to get some support for learning how to bike in the winter.
Happy holidays and happy cycling!
I know who that was.
I don't
lighting
know.
looked a little harsh from the studio monitor.
Oh,
I've
is
been
that
complaining
right?
about that for quite some time, Jeff.
I just didn't want to go.
Maybe you'll carry a little more weight than I do.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, does it look okay? We should have people call in, 542
That's right.
It just looks really harsh.
On that screen, or what do you think of
The
this
one,
one?
yeah, it's the same here.
But yeah,
This is,
it is a
you
little
both,
harsh.
two of you consider this harsh.
It's not very warm.
It's been
It's
worse,
bluish.
but
It's bluish. Or
Yeah.
It's been better too.
hot white.
We are going to warm it up for our Christmas show,
Oh, there you
which will
go.
be 2 weeks from
When
today.
we get the Yule log, I'm
Yeah.
sure that will help a lot.
Yeah, we're going to make this look better, people. I'm glad
Okay.
you mentioned something.
It's time to
I thought
learn
it looked
something.
terrific. So we are here with Geoff Badenoch. He is a Missoula citizen who has been interested in contributing in so many ways over the years, Geoff, and thank you for that. And now you're going to do it again this afternoon. You have been chosen to help explain, and we will explain by our ignorance, I think, and you could explain with some acumen how the Electoral College works. Maybe we'd start this out by, I would say this is what I understand about the Electoral College, that it began in the early 19th century, maybe around 1820, what have you, and that the college consists of representatives. I've been looking at a blog called 538, okay? So that right now, there are 435 members of the House of Representatives. There are 100 senators.
That's right.
And there are 3 minimal electoral votes given to the District of Columbia. The total is 538. So it's my understanding that there are 538 members of the Electoral College. The Electoral College meets and actually selects the president some weeks after the popular vote is taken. The Electoral College is influenced but not slavishly adhering to the popular vote. Got anything right?
If it was a barn, you might have hit the door. Maybe.
Okay.
The Electoral College was devised by the framers of the Constitution. Remember, they were convened to remedy the Articles of Confederation, which were the first attempts at forming a government in our newfound republic after the Revolutionary War. And it didn't work so well. And one of the things that they were missing was a chief executive. They had a Congress, they kind of knew what they wanted by way of legislature, but when the framers decided that they wanted to have a president, they debated long and hard about how to select that person. And they were actually kind of terrified of direct election, a popular election, because they were afraid that a candidate who was unscrupulous could sway the voters. They didn't have a high opinion of the popular vote. And so they created this intervening step in each state, and because the presidential provisions in the Constitution are Article 2, they had Article 1 to go by, which was how the Congress was set up. And that was set up as a result of a compromise between the powerful states and the smaller states. And they gave each state 2 senators, so everybody felt equal, and then they apportioned the House of Representatives based on population. And so they simply said, based on the representation in Congress, that will be the electors.
And
Now,
they did not worry about the popular vote at that level, so that these representatives and these senators were going to be voted by the people and then simply tally who got the most votes and off they went. There was no electoral college at that level or for the legislative branch.
Not for the legislative branch. They let the House of Representatives be elected by direct election, and the senators at that time were selected by state legislatures.
Oh.
And I'll come back another time and tell you how Montana influenced the direct election of senators.
Oh, I
But
think
that's
yeah.
a very
A
exciting.
story
Right.
for another time,
is.
children.
The thing about the Electoral College, too, is that the college never meets. They only meet in their individual states.
Right.
And the framers' idea was that the people could elect wise, mature, considered, informed people who would be these electors, who would then meet at the state capitol a week or so or a month after the election, after all the paper ballots were counted, and then they would elect the person that they felt was the best for our president. Now, what's happened in the intervening years and what the founders didn't anticipate was the rise of political parties and the power that political parties have. And the role that political parties play in our electoral process is way beyond what the founders and the framers imagined it would be. And consequently, what you find is in 29 of the 50 states, the electors are what they call bound or pledged delegates. And Montana is a state like that. And so what happens is before the election, each party designates, in Montana's case, 3 electors. And if that party gets the most presidential ballot or election votes, then their 3 electors get to vote for the president. And in our case, what will happen in December is our 3 Republican electors in Montana will go to Helena, and they will meet, the 3 of them, with the Secretary of State, who will convene the meeting and hand them each a ballot. Now, they've all pledged that they will vote for the candidate of their party. If they don't, if, say, someone gets a wild idea that
Faithless elector.
if they're the faithless elector and they hand their ballot to the Secretary of State, the Secretary of State will examine it, and if the name is not of their party's candidate, they will take the ballot and they'll ask for that elector to go away and the alternate to come up, and they'll say, here's the ballot, mark it. And if you don't mark the ballot according to your party, then the Secretary of State will not accept your ballot and will ask for another person to step up.
Oh, in some instances I had read of faithless electors who paid a fine. The
That's
one I
right.
could record was, or remember from Wikipedia, was a representative from the District of Columbia.
That's right.
Was pledged to vote for Gore in the 2000 election.
And voted for no one.
And voted for no one in protest of the fact
right.
that the District
Right.
of Columbia is not recognized with state power.
That's right.
So does every state's rules about how their electors behave, are they all different?
No. 29 have what they call pledged or bound electors who follow Montana and have to do it that way.
And so it's winner take all in those states.
And it's winner take all.
Right.
The others, there is an opportunity that they might vote their conscience and do whatever they want. And in 2 states, Maine and Nebraska, they each have 4 electoral votes. 2 of the votes go for the statewide winner take all, and they have 2 congressional districts, and so they look at the winner in each congressional district and then award an electoral vote for the winner in their districts.
Wow.
And that's why we kept watching on election night the results in Maine, wasn't it? There
Yeah,
was
Maine and Nebraska to see if they
Right.
would split. Now, what are the remedies? Because a lot of people are seeing this election where the popular vote went to one candidate and the Electoral College is going to go to the other one. What are the possibilities? What can we do about that? Well, the Constitution itself can be amended. Very difficult, but that is one solution, that the Constitution can be amended. Also, state by state, we could go and have the state election laws changed, try to wrest that power from the parties, and have proportionate representation. We could have it, particularly in some of the states that have larger electoral college members, we could divide it up. Instead of making it winner take all, make it more representative of the election in their state. It's kind of doubtful that the parties would ever get behind that. Now, if we continue to have elections, now we've had 2 in 16 years where the popular vote did not match up with the Electoral College.
And prior 1876 and 1888.
That's right.
12-year interval where the
Right.
popular vote didn't match the electoral
Right.
outcome.
So it hasn't happened often enough that it's been a problem, but if we had it, say, 2 more times in
Yeah.
ensuing elections, I think people would ask that there be a change. So we could either do it state by state, or we could take on the burden of having an amendment to the Constitution.
Because it's a very, I think, important thing to most Americans to know that their vote matters. And if there's a big enough discrepancy that goes on
Yeah.
election after election, you start to kind of fray that trust.
And I think as a nation, we're also, the voters are kind of attuned to my vote, one person, that matters.
Yeah.
And that to think that there is this intervening step that was created by the framers to keep the riffraff from being duped by some scurrilous candidate who could convince the simple farmers to vote for them. Today, I think we have more than enough information to look at to make a decision how to be political beings. I think that people do feel that maybe it is an anachronism, but at the same time, it does kind of offer a political insulator.
Is this tiered system common around the world? Do other countries, I mean,
Yeah.
given the many different forms of government, do other people?
Well, a lot of it depends on their form of government. A parliamentary
Right.
form of government can have many different kinds of parties, and some places have proportionate voting where you vote and you get represented according to proportion. Some have voting where you vote for your first, second, and third candidate, and they figure out that balance of that, and so power comes in different fashions. But this is our way, and we've done it since 1787. So.
Yeah, there it is. Now,
Don't
making
miss
a
it.
constitutional amendment is extremely hard,
Yes.
right? It has to be ratified by the majority of states, and the whole process is
Well, it
very long.
starts by two-thirds of each House of Congress has to approve it, and then 3/4 of the states have to ratify it. That's one way. The other way is we can actually call a constitutional convention. What terrifies people about a constitutional convention is you cannot limit what
Yeah.
they'll talk about.
Wow.
Right.
so
you
we
really
might-
want to open that.
That's really well. Because now Montana had a constitutional convention in
We did.
1972.
A brilliant one.
And people said it was a brilliant one, and it really changed the footprint, the forecast for the direction of the state. But there's not been a federal national constitutional Congress, has there?
Not since 1787.
Wow. So that's really shocking.
However, we have amended the Constitution
Right.
some 26
Yeah.
Right.
times.
So it's not impossible to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't know, Geoff, if you would know the answer. When I looked up the Electoral College in the Wikipedia, there was a few sentences describing the effect of the popular vote deviating from the Electoral College and why this could be. And it would say something like, the candidate performed strongly in big states, but not strongly in small states, or... do you know why that comes about? Why there is a divergence?
Well,
typically?
it could be any number of combinations of things. For example, if you had a state with a large population that was evenly split, it's still going to be winner take all. So, let's say there was a state with 50 million people in it, 25 million or 50 million voters. 25 million voters are not going to get their way because it's winner take all.
Okay.
So there's 55 or some number of electors that are going to a single candidate, and 25,000 people are going to be disenfranchised.
Right.
That's
so
how it could
close
happen.
races in large states can cause this effect.
Yep.
So let's say a state like California, New York, Pennsylvania, one candidate wins by just a shade
Well, and that
in
was
those
the
large
case in
states.
Pennsylvania and Wisconsin.
That's
Right,
and-
right.
This
That
is-
are being recounted. or
Right.
Well, this
whatnot.
is why in our presidential elections, because they do so well with polling, they know which states are the close states and which ones are the swing states, and those are the states that the candidates end up spending the most time.
Right.
California, for example, blue state, it's not
No
going to.
point.
So they make sure that their people turn out, but they don't spend a lot of time there convincing the middle
Yeah.
because the middle doesn't matter.
Because one argument for Electoral College, and I know we probably should wrap up, is with this minimum number of votes going to highly rural states like Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas. One argument is having those 3 votes, those minimum votes, at least it requires national candidates to take a little bit of time.
Right.
Even if it's at the
3,
hangar
yeah.
at the airport in Billings, they're going to take a little
The 3
time.
votes, 3 electoral votes is more than 100,000,
Right.
people votes.
Like the ratio too, you know, that an electoral vote in Wyoming is maybe worth 30 people represented, and that's representing 25,000 Californians to get one
Right.
electoral vote.
That's right.
So that's a curious.
So yeah, in Montana, actually, our voters have more sway than a voter in California
Yeah.
because
Sure.
because we have more electoral votes per capita per voting eligible voter.
Yeah. So there, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to wrap up, but I really want to thank you for coming by and taking the time because it seems kind of fascinating.
Well, it's,
and it's
we
very
keep
much
reading
of the
about
moment.
it, and people are in disagreement about it right now, and it's good to have some actual information.
Well, I just think it's important that people play Ken Burns and go back and look at the history. There is a reason why it is the way it is, and there's a reason why it hasn't changed. And the
Yeah.
reason was they wanted to protect the process from ignorant voters, and it has been pretty much cemented the way it is because political parties have found it a way to manage power in elections. So it's worked out.
Okay. Well, Geoff Badenoch, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
taking the time.
And we
for
do
having
want
me.
you to come back and tell us about how
Once
we
the lighting is
contributed to
improved,
this.
and we have like a Vaseline gauze of warm orange
Yeah,
liquid over
a
every
little
lens.
softer.
Well, there's a lot of very interesting things about our Constitution's history, and it'll be fun to talk about that.
We should do
Great.
little government minutes with Geoff.
If he's willing.
Okay.
I'm totally in. All right.
Thank you,
Well,
Geoff.
thank
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so here's more holiday greeting. And next we'll bring up Jody Pilgrim from the Missoula Parking Commission. She's going to talk about how you can use some food to pay your parking fines. So we'll be right
I might
back.
be getting a ticket right now.
Happy
Well, thank-
holidays from the YWCA. And don't forget to shop at Secret Seconds for all your holiday
Does that help
needs.
what you
Yeah.
said? If you lose a large...
Dave Chrisman, University District.
Kinsey Vetter, Northside Westside neighborhood.
Karen Younghome, Northside Westside neighborhood.
Anthony Joe, Captain John Mullen.
Ray Aiden, Farview's Patty Canyon.
Kirk Richardson, Two Rivers neighborhood.
Ariel Cornelius, Moose Kangoli.
Elliot Uresti, Two Rivers neighborhood.
Karina Maurer, Office of Neighborhoods.
Jane Kelly, Office of Neighborhoods.
From our neighborhood to yours, happy holidays!
Hi, I'm Kaylee Bestington and I'm from England and I'm currently training with Rocky Mountain Ballet Theatre, and on behalf of them we want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hi, I'm Molly Rowe from Missoula, Montana, and thanks to organizations like these, I have opportunities to dance all over the world.
I'm Charlene Campbell-Carey, the Artistic Director of Rocky Mountain Ballet Theater and the USA Director of VIBE, the Vienna International Ballet Experience.
We've been celebrating Christmas here in Missoula since 1998 with our holiday productions, and this year we'll be found downtown for first night at 3 different destinations. Merry Christmas from all of us, both here and abroad, that all represent Rocky Mountain Ballet Theater at home and away. And we look forward to seeing you in January at the Vienna International Ballet Experience, January 10 through 14.
Missoula Rainbow Girls Garden City Assembly number 55 pledges. We'd like to wish you a happy holiday and a happy new year. And a Merry Christmas!
Hi, I'm Catherine Hungerford, along with Curtis Hammond and Kim Hutchison and Porridge.
This year, hundreds of older adults will be spending their holidays alone.
Isolation, helplessness, and depression are some of the challenges.
All of us at Hospice Care Foundation,
we wish you and yours a very happy holiday season.
Learn more.
Visit www.hcfmissoula.com or call us at 541-2255.
Okay, we're back. We're sorry to you live viewers. We had a little meltdown. Yeah, Scott had to restart the computer and it took like 4 minutes. But we are back with Jody Pilgrim. She's here representing Missoula Parking Commission to talk about food for fines. Welcome. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
You are well into this program, right?
We are, yeah. We've actually only got 3 days left that people can donate food to contribute to their fines. So this is kind of our last big push to get the word out there and get people in.
So do the like a canned good or non-perishable food item equal a certain amount in fines? I know some people might have substantial fines. I don't know how bad, but
Yeah. So each canned item is worth $2 towards your outstanding balance, and there's a limit of 5 cans, so you can get up to $10 off of your outstanding citations.
Oh, okay, so you can't pull the truck up to get rid of your $150.
no, apparently. But I think it's a thought that counts.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's a fabulous program. And how has it been going so far?
It's been going really well. We've written off $466 in citations.
Wow.
Which is a total of 233 non-perishable food items.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good, and it doesn't count in how much people have brought extra, because people got excited that there was another place to donate.
Yeah.
And so we had people bring in more items than they were allowed to, receive a discount for.
Oh, I see.
Right.
So there's a touch of generosity on the part of the fine
Sure, they just want to give
payers.
away the food.
Yeah.
So what happens once you get the food at the parking commission? Where does it go?
It goes to the Missoula Food Bank. We have big bins that the food bank dropped off for us when we got this all set up, and they come and pick it up once or twice a week. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So people watching, if you do have some outstanding parking fines, here's your chance to be the good elves of the holiday season. And so obviously they're going to the parking commission in person.
Yep.
And the hours are 8 to 5?
Yep, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, excluding any federal holidays. But we don't have
none
any
are
more
coming
of
up
those.
like during the
And
program.
you can do this through, is it Wednesday, November 30th?
Through Wednesday this week, yes.
The end of the month.
All right,
so
people.
3 more days. And bring good canned goods.
Yeah.
Bring the good stuff.
Or boxes, or...
Or yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, Jody, I knew you didn't want to be on the show per se. I mean, I hope it's not like an awful experience.
But thank you, and you did a great job.
Yeah, I think you did a great job.
Thank you so much.
It's just what you get used to, really.
We'll have you come back, and then it'll be like nothing.
That'd
Yeah.
be great. Next time we have a program, I'll
Right.
talk about it.
Thank you. Love the new
Excellent.
parking meters.
Oh, good, thanks.
Yeah, and there are new signs that say "Pay here,"
Pay here.
which has really
So
helped the people on the
because now
horizon.
people know where to go.
Yeah, it
we
does
really
help.
like those signs as well.
Lots of changes.
Yeah.
And it's proof that change can occur, and time goes on.
Right, not the end of the world.
Downtown has continued
We
to
all learned how to
exist.
do it.
That's
And
right.
did you guys sell all your parking meters?
Those have not all been sold yet. We actually aren't selling any of them. We've
Yeah.
donated them to the Missoula
right.
Downtown Association.
Yeah, and they are selling
And
them.
they're in charge of getting them sold. Yep. And then all the money goes back into downtown.
Yeah, which is
great.
wonderful.
Just looking better and better.
And and people buy that for some sort of nostalgia, and also I think it's a good way of collecting money. Whether it's for like, the coffee at a business where people are supposed to
Right.
pay like 25
that is a
cents.
good-
They could put the quarter and whatever it is. Oh
Like
yeah.
a piggy
We
bank.
did have a gentleman come in who wanted to set them up outside of his house so that when his kids came home for the holidays, they had to pay
They
their
had to
parking.
pay to
Oh, that's
park.
cute. And you can use it as like a cussing fine
Oh,
thing.
the jar, the swear
right,
jar.
the swear jar.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, we better move on.
Oh, we better move on.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Jody, for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we're going to try to come back sooner so that hopefully
Right.
the equipment won't break down.
With Tom
We'll be-
Benson?
Yes,
Is that
we'll be
right?
right back with Tom Benson right after this.
I'm with Free Cycles.
Thank you.
And my name's Caitlin, and I'm also here on behalf of Free Cycles. As the winter season draws near, it's important to keep your tires aired up, your chain lube, and your brakes tuned so you can stop in wet or icy conditions. If you are looking for a winter hobby, is to come into Free Cycles and actually learn how to build a bike, and those bikes go to help children, people in Missoula, and all over the nation. As it starts to get darker sooner, it's also really important to wear your lights at night, have them on you at all times, and be extra alert of your surroundings because sometimes drivers are not expecting to see cyclists on the road.
Free Cycles is a great place to do that and to get some support for learning how to bike in the winter.
Happy holidays and happy cycling.
We keep Missoula County's history alive.
We're your museum, now free to all Missoula County residents.
We hope to see you soon.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays from your friends at the Historical Museum at Fort Missoula.
CASA of Missoula would like to extend our sincerest gratitude to the Missoula community for all of your support throughout the year, with special thanks to our court-appointed special advocate volunteers who spend countless hours advocating on behalf of abused and neglected children. If you are interested in learning more about our program or becoming a CASA volunteer, visit us online at www.casamissoula.org or by contacting our office at 542-1208. Our annual Light of Hope banquet and silent auction is right around the corner on Friday, February 3rd. We hope to see you there. Happy holidays from our families to yours.
I want to talk about changing our name.
Yeah. Okay, we're back.
And we're back.
We're back with Tom Benson. He is going to wear two hats. One is Arts Missoula and First Night, and the other is Dolce Canto, which is having a concert coming up, Stars Over the Snow. It's December the 10th at St. Anthony Parish. Welcome, Tom. Thanks for doing both.
Great to be here again.
Yeah.
I got to talk fast, right?
No, you're good. We take lots of time.
What are we doing?
We're at 1:45. We're good.
All right.
Okay.
Well, Dolce Canto is one of the choirs in Missoula. Missoula has a great number of choirs, and we have a concert coming up at St. Anthony Parish on the 10th of December. It's called Stars Over Snow. So it's not your typical, we don't really want to do your typical holiday show, because there's a lot of that going on. So we do sort of thematic shows, and this one is about stars and snow. So it's sort of,
that's good.
It's seasonal.
So the songs are based
every
on
song
around that theme.
Yeah.
The choir looks very well attended. There's Marsala.
Yep.
Michael Marsala. Well, I mean, we all love all of the traditional holiday songs.
And we throw in a few of those.
Yeah.
You know, the holiday songs that have the word stars in them or snow in them.
We could all think of a few that do.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, that sounds great.
But also, it's good to hear newer music and broaden your kind of holiday stash of songs.
That's right.
And you can only hear some songs so many times.
That's right. And some of them you might not think of as a holiday song.
Right. And then all of a sudden it applies.
That's right.
That's great.
That's right.
So the date again for the concerts
is Saturday the 10th of December, and it's 7:30 at St. Anthony Parish. And we're also going to be joined by the Frenchtown Choir, Frenchtown High School Choir.
Excellent.
So they're going to sing some songs, and we're going to sing some songs together. That's always, we like to sing with other choirs and sing together.
That's a nice partnership. How did that come about?
I think it's Peter Park is our artistic director, and he knows other choir directors in town. So I think, and there are other schools that want to participate too. And part of our mission is to is educational outreach, and so it's great to work with younger singers. It really is.
Oh yeah, and it'll be good.
I like that venue.
Yeah,
Years
it's
ago,
a beautiful church to sing
It's
in.
so beautiful.
Really is nice.
Yeah.
MCAT recorded a concert at St. Anthony's, and we had multiple cameras. I think it was called the Missoula, and it was like the Paul Winter group. It was really great. But it, acoustically, I think it's a really
beautiful sound.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sound.
That'll be a lovely night.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then you have to have the other hat on.
That's
and
right.
And that's for Arts Missoula and First
Before we
Night.
go forward, can I ask another question about the concert?
Sure.
So how do people get tickets?
Oh, right. Our website, Dolce Canto.
Scott had that up.
There we go.
Okay.
You can purchase there. You can also purchase them at Fact and Fiction and Rock and Rudy's.
Okay. Fact and Fiction, Rock and Rudy's.
And the website.
And the website.
And you can come to the door.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Move on now.
All right. Sorry.
So now we're talking about, it is the season for New Year's Eve. And New Year's Eve in Missoula is a great tradition called First Night.
That's what it means.
And I'm wearing my First Night button right there. And
Excellent.
Oh, the new buttons
the
already
new
out?
buttons are
I
out.
haven't seen them yet.
Yeah.
Good.
And so we've been feverishly planning away. We've got about 80 events going on from noon till midnight, all over downtown at the University of Montana campus, at Southgate Mall. First Night has gone through some changes in 20 years or so. It's not the same kind of an event that it used to be. There aren't as many First Night celebrations around the country. And so we've changed things up a bit, and we've tried to institute a few more sort of ways in which people can be their own artists. You can sort of, instead of just going and getting entertained, you can participate in some way. For instance, we just had the parking commission in here, and right now there's a lot of old parking meters.
We were talking about that,
And we're going to turn them into art. So if you want to help turn them into art, you can come to First Night and you can paint a parking meter.
Oh, that would be fun.
So that'll be. And another thing that we're doing this year, we're working with Flanagan Motors. You know, they've had their burning minivan. Their burning minivan is now going to take place on New Year's Eve, right downtown.
Excellent.
That is so
right
perfect.
downtown.
Right downtown.
It really is. Yeah.
Right. And so. So things like that in which you can get involved, as well as the usual if you want to see some great local artists perform. There are some great, wonderful local art, and that's really what it is. It's a celebration of the local artists. We don't bring in big acts from somewhere else. It's more sort of a showcase of a celebration of Missoula itself. So.
We like to spend New Year's Eve with family.
That's right. There you go.
And will you have the big get together? You know, for the dropping of the ball.
You know, what we do is at midnight the Ed Norton Big Band plays in the ballroom, and the Drum Brothers play, and they welcome in the new year. So we're not dropping a big ball and all that kind of thing.
University Center though will have. Ed Norton Big Band and Drum Brothers in the atrium area.
Drum Brothers will actually be in the Commons, and the big band will be in the ballroom. Yeah.
And as usual, you can buy buttons, and a button allows you to do as much as you want.
That's right. You can buy buttons, and they're $15 ahead of time. Children 10 and under are free. And buttons are located at outlets all over town. The best way to get all the information is to go to our website, artsmissoula.org, and then look up First Night. There's also the First Night Spotlight, which is the high school talent show.
This has become huge,
and that's at the Denison Theater, right? And they're actually having the preliminary rounds, the auditions for those next week as well. So it'll be a fun night all around.
Well, maybe closer to New Year's we can get some of the artists who are going to be involved in
First Night to come
idea. And talk.
You know,
because you might be really busy.
You probably. We'll do our
We'll
show
give you their phone number.
2 weeks from today.
That's right.
Yeah, so that we could have some of them on for that, because that's going to be our Christmas reading.
Is it really?
The Christmas reading show
Great,
already.
We should get a musician.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Oh, perfect.
All right, good. We'll talk to you.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, thanks so much for taking the time.
Well, thank you guys.
Yes, and don't forget Dolce Canto.
Dolce Canto on the 10th.
Right.
And New Year's Eve, on New Year's Eve.
Right, and they go to artsmissoula.org, is it? And there you can check out the whole schedule and purchase the $15 button.
Right.
All right, we have one more guest. Yes, thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back, and we'll introduce you to events at Historical Museum at Fort Missoula right after this.
Happy holidays from Arts Missoula, connecting art, culture, and community through education, advocacy, and celebration. And it's also the home of Spark, Arts Ignite Learning, the Public Art Committee, the Montana Book Festival, German Fest, New Zealand Days, First Friday Gallery Nights, and this New Year's Eve, First Night Missoula, the 23rd First Night in Missoula. Make sure you get your button today. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from A Carousel for Missoula and Dragon Hollow. We're open every day through the holidays with lots of choices for wonderful Christmas gifts. And we're also open for free rides on Christmas Day thanks to our wonderful volunteers from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Hey Jess, what's the best way to communicate with sea turtles and trout over the holidays?
I have no idea.
Well, it depends. With a sea turtle, just call their shell phone. But with a trout, you might want to drop them a line first.
That's a really great joke, Micah.
I know.
But seriously, do you want to know how you can support conservation over the holidays? Ecology Project International has a couple of really great gift ideas for conservation.
You could get the jumping trout license plate for your friends and family.
So cool, and available at your local DMV.
Or you can adopt a sea turtle hatchling and receive a turtle education kit for you and your classroom.
Adorbs. Just visit ecologyproject.org/adopt.
Both are great gifts that support hands-on conservation and science education for youth.
From all of us at EPI, we hope you make conservation a part of your family tradition.
Happy holidays from
Ecology
EPI.
Project International.
I was watching all the holiday greetings. Yeah, we did one.
And we're back, and we're here with Matt Lautzenheiser with Fort Missoula Historical Museum. Welcome back, Matt.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back again.
You guys are so busy. Other than driving to the studio every 2 weeks, I don't know what else you get to do.
I'll just set up an office in the back if you've got some space for me then. Yeah.
What's coming up?
Well, we have our Holiday Lantern Tours program coming up, which is probably one of my favorite that we do throughout the year. It is a living history program. So it's kind of like, if you can imagine, seeing a play, only instead of the play taking place on a stage, we have a scene that takes place in each of 5 different historic buildings. So it's great. Each of the buildings is set up with a specific time period, and the character that they'll meet in that building doesn't leave character, and it's portraying somebody. And it's a very interactive program. We draw the visitors in, but it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it sounds great. It's making me think of Stories and Stones.
It's
you know, the
similar,
program they have at the
Yes.
cemetery, where people are being H.P. Higgins or some
Exactly.
other figure. You know.
One, ironically, one of Mr. Higgins, who is in Stories and Stones, is portrayed by Bob Brown,
Right.
who's my predecessor at the Historical Museum.
Yeah.
And Bob is actually going to portray C.P. Higgins in St. Michael's Church this year for our Lantern Tours program
Oh,
as well.
see, that's wonderful. That's great.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of fun. One of the things I love about our site too is that, you know, I worked and I've done this at other museums, but we always had to stay in one time period because all the buildings were from one time period.
Right.
Whereas now we've got this great site with all these wonderful outbuildings, but they're from different eras. So we can actually interpret and talk about different eras of Missoula's history all in one program. So
That's amazing. So there are 5 sites and
There are.
5 historical presentations. Can you tell us? who
Sure, I'd be
those
happy
are?
to. Yeah, I gotta give you a little bit. Yeah, we'll kind of So we start out in the Drummond Depot, and in the Drummond Depot, the year is going to be 1958. And as they walk in, they'll meet the gentleman who's the ticket clerk at the Drummond Depot, and he will talk to them a little bit about what it was like growing up in a homestead cabin in Minnesota at the end of the 19th century. And he also hints at a gift that he's picked up for his niece that's very relevant to 1958. So, but from there we move on. They get a chance to meet a teacher at the Grant Creek Schoolhouse, and that scene takes place in a Christmas of 1916. So right after Jeanette Rankin has just been elected the first woman to Congress.
Wow.
So we kind of hit on that angle. St. Michael's Church, where they meet the Higgins family. And that is taking place in 1865. So right as kind of Hellgate Village was on its way out, and Missoula, or Missoula Mills as it was called, is starting to rise. And then we do 2 last scenes. One is our homestead cabin, where they meet a young couple during the Great Depression who's moved to Montana to try their hand at the Christmas tree farms that got really popular in that era. And then the last scene, they'll meet Colonel Andrew Burt. And Burt was the commander of the 25th Infantry when they were in Montana, or here in Missoula, the Buffalo Soldiers. And that's interesting because the scene takes place right after, it would be the Christmas or the holiday season, right after Mark Twain made his famous visit to Fort Missoula. So it's neat because it kind of, the program is around the holidays, but you can see we also try to hit on some of the interesting stories from Missoula's past as well too.
Yeah, what a great lineup.
Oh, it really is. Now, in the notes it says, It's December the 9th through the 11th. Call for reservations.
That's correct. We do 4 tours on Friday, 4 tours on Saturday, and then 2 tours on Sunday. The Friday starts, and it's starting at 6 o'clock, and they're every half an hour. Saturday starting at 5:30, every half an hour. And then we do the 5:30 and a 6 on Sunday. So what we would need folks to do if they're interested, if they call the Historical Museum or send me an email, or through our general site email, and we will get them down for reservation. We don't need payment or anything in advance. It's kind of like a restaurant. We just ask that they make a reservation.
Right.
Of course, we also ask if possible, if their plans change, they let us know. Last year, the program sold out completely about 3 or 4 days before the first show.
I believe it.
And we had a waiting list that was close to as long as our list of attendees. So we've doubled the size of it this year, and it's already selling really well. We're probably about a third of the way sold already, with 2 weeks yet to go. So.
And how much are tickets?
Sure. Tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for seniors 65 and over, or $5 for students 18 and under, and kids under 5 are free. So it's about the price of a movie.
Yeah, and what a great
living
thing
movie.
to do with
Like tableau
family
vivant.
moving through history.
Exactly. It's exactly like that. We always say they're kind of like vignettes, a small vignette of each, but it's just a really fun way to teach history.
And how long will the tour take?
It's about an hour. Each of the scenes is about 10 minutes long. So it's we do recommend everyone, if they do come out, please dress for the weather.
Right.
This morning was yeah, they do walk from building to building, and not all of our buildings are heated.
Sure.
And this morning was a reminder that it's coming.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Oh, I think this is
sounds
like
really
a great
great.
holiday event.
And you know, the people that do the living history, they're so dedicated.
Yeah.
You know, when
They know their stuff.
We've recorded maybe 35 different stories from 10 years of Stories and Stones, but in all weather. You know, just when you mentioned, you know, what the weather is like. I mean, thankfully, people in historic costumes, sometimes they can be quite warm, you know, with layers. And
They wore
vests and
layers
things.
for a reason.
But still, my hat goes up, you know, off to those guys.
That can go the other way around, though. It's funny, I started out as a graduate student. I worked at a living history site, and I did some living history stuff. And I remember a very, very warm 4th of July wearing a Mexican War officer's uniform. And the costumer at the time mistakenly used blanket wool instead of uniform wool. And it was about 90 degrees in Ohio with the 80% humidity.
Were all of you just
It was,
keeling
yes.
over?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was, it was
Well,
fun.
Scott's saying we're almost running out of time, but I did want to ask, and I know our viewers that have seen the announcement of the book sale, do you wonder how it turned out?
You know, we had another record-setting year for a book sale. I can't speak highly enough about how well we've grown that event, and our staff and our team has worked so hard to promote it, whether it be through the traditional media, through our grassroots advertising, through shows like this, and through social media. And we increased our profits another 4,000 over last year.
Congratulations.
So it brought in $15,000 for the store.
Congratulations.
It's really a wonderful, it's become our biggest fundraiser.
Well, people really look forward to it now, and they know it's coming.
They stock up for the whole year,
done.
right?
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah.
The book is not dead. We have ample
Far from
evidence.
it.
Yeah. Well, Matt, thanks for taking the time to promote.
Yes,
Thank you for having
I want to
me.
get out there and see that. I'm going to make my reservation.
And I didn't see the phone number up there.
Sure.
So 728-3476.
Yep, and I'm at extension 1, and they can call me directly to make a reservation.
Okay, or go to the website and just send an email.
Yep, exactly, through the email.
contact us?
Yep.
And the Lantern Tours Living History Program, December 9th through the 11th in the evening. And you'll find out the times. So the start times varied a little bit.
Yep.
Well, thanks again, Matt.
Thank you guys for having me again.
And thank you, dear viewer, for watching another installment of Missoula Live. So we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. It will be December...
like 12th, 13th?
12th.
12th.
Yeah, it'll be December 12th.
It'll be the Christmas show.
It'll be the Christmas show, though we promised maybe that we'd get some musicians.
Yeah. I'm
That'll be
running out of
nice.
Christmas poems, frankly.
Right, I've got to look at my list. So thanks again for watching. For MCAT, I'm Jill Baer.
And I'm Kim Anderson.
And we'll see you next time.
We keep Missoula County's history alive.
We're your museum, now free to all Missoula County residents.
We hope to see you soon.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays from your friends at the Historical Museum at Fort Missoula.